Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is, where you is. Welcome to Midnight's Edge. I'm Tom Connors. With me is the boss man, Andre. How you doing, sir?
I am good, thank you. And how about yourself? That's actually a much more uh, relevant question since you haven't slept the past 24 hours, have you?
For the most part, no. I'm hanging in there for now. I got a little extra boost from that trailer and watching our retrospective that I just got finished putting together. But hey, nothing like throwing out wet papers, right? It's fresh off the print
Yeah,
or press or
exactly.
whatever.
Speaking of fresh, welcome to everyone watching. So, hello to Australia and to Uruguay and everywhere else watching. So, thanks for joining us. And today, of course, is a very special day because we have the Dune trailer. This would be the online trailer that was teased in the theatrical teaser last week for those of you watching Tenet. So now here's the real deal. And even someone from Spain watching. Awesome. Hola. So, Tom, what did you think about the trailer? Quick impression.
Well, I think I should say first off, even though it's a little unrelated but related, kind of surprising how well Tenet did this last weekend. But yeah, a teaser trailer for a teaser trailer. That aside, this first reaction to this trailer, I'm kind of surprised. I liked it for the most part. I have some issues, but I liked it for the most part. How about you?
Yeah, I liked it too. Same. I have some issues again, but overall, I liked it. Like this is a trailer that is for the fans. I think first and foremost, if you're familiar with the source material, then you are able to see what goes where and exactly what we're seeing on screen. So I think it helps to be a fan of the source material in this one. I don't know how people that are not at all familiar with the books are going to react.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how the normies take this one. So I'll be interested to see how some of the people in our chat reacted to it and how some of the comments we'll get after the fact. But overall, I mean, I don't know if you want to start with just like the look of it. I mean, I like the look of it. I like the tone. Actually, I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan, and I wasn't totally turned off by the usage in this. Now, I'm not a fan of this modern day, take a classic rock song and turn it into some orchestral choral, thing. And not usually a fan, but it worked here. It worked here for the most part. What didn't work for me though was so far the kid playing Paul. He's not convincing me at all, especially up against people like Jason Momoa. Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to believe this kid's some great warrior, and he's got big ass dudes like Jason Momoa who like make him look like Frodo Baggins.
But yeah, but that's the thing though. He's not supposed to be a great warrior here. In this movie, he's
Oh,
just a
so it's
kid.
Paul Begins. I get it, but
Yes, this
okay.
is Paul Begins,
But I
and
don't know.
that's part of the reason why they split the movie where they did, because both in the novel and in the Lynch movie, there's a time jump. There's a time jump of a few years, and where we have that time jump, that's actually where this movie ends. So when we get the sequel, if we get the sequel 2 or 3 years down the line, then 2 or 3 years will have passed for the characters as well, and that's 2 or 3 years for Paul Atreides to mature. And I think that's part of the reason why they cast this guy here. He's young, but he'll mature in the next few years, and he can like play
Size
much more mature
aside, I'm
role.
not.
So
Oh, you're cutting out there. Sorry.
yeah,
Size aside, though, I don't know. His delivery wasn't convincing me. I don't know. I'm not. I'm going off of just a few minutes in a trailer. I've never seen this kid in anything else. But I know some of the people that he's playing up against, so he's got to be good. And he got most of the lines in the trailer. And I don't know. Kyle MacLachlan's a hard act to follow in that sense. I never really watched the sci-fi series, so I can't speak to that. But I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not real familiar with the novel like you are either. So, or
Yeah.
I should say the book, not the novel. It's a book.
Sabita from Uruguay evidently is, because the comment there is, and he looks like the evil emperor he will become. I think that's a very astute comment. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess I did kind of get
I'm
the
not
Anakin
worried.
vibe from this one a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. Let's say I think that the cast is terrific all around. I would have liked to have seen more of Stellan Skarsgård. To the Swedish guy in the chat, Heja
I think
Sverige
they're hiding
or
him on
something. So
purpose.
yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. But he's the one I really look forward to, because like the moment I read that Stellan Skarsgård was cast as Baron Harkonnen, I almost fell on the floor, because that's such genius casting. I can't wait to see what he's going to do with it. It was also cool to see like the suspensors done right when they come like down from the sky and like landing slowly. That's the suspensors in action, and that's the same suspensors that Harkonnen is going to be wearing. So that's cool.
Well, Culture Casino sent us a super sticker. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Max
thank you
Mercer
so
asked, "Did
much.
Rob like the trailer? Is he here?"
Rob is not here, and Rob's opinion has not changed.
No, he really did not want to be a part of this because
Yeah,
he felt like he had zero to offer.
yeah,
Um,
and that's fine. Not every movie can be for everyone.
no. Navo Brannick, if I'm saying that right. Pink Floyd, nice reference to Hodorowski's Dune.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm a big Floyd fan. So again, I was kind of at first I had a little, and then I like the way it played out in the trailer. It was all right. But I do get where culture's coming from in this super chat. It does look a lot like some of the YA films we've been getting that past few years, and he's not loving it. I did kind of get a little bit of that vibe, but I also see where Andre's coming from. Where at the end, where we kind of got a little bit of the whole Anakin Skywalker slash, the fall of Anakin kind of vibe there. Fatal J's in the house says Dune will be Star Wars killer. Trust me. I generally do trust you, Fatal J. The only time I don't think I would trust you is in the dark. With my pants down, that'd be about it. So no, if you catch Fatal J and me goofing around on Midnight's Edge After Dark once in a while too, he's a good buddy of the channel. Same as Culture Casino, actually, too, for that matter. But no, like, what other things kind of stood out to you in this trailer since you're the big Dune guy?
Just that everything looks fantastic. As a Dune guy, I think this looks fantastic. The visuals, I love that they were able to make the desert look kind of alien just from the imagery. I like the shots of Caladan, which was filmed in my own homeland. So of course I would, but still, yeah, I like the contrast between them. And also, I liked basically the lines from the Reverend Mother, saying that the father he will lose the planet, and with Paul responding, he'll get a richer one. Oh, he'll lose that one too. It's like that. That just goes to show that the script that I read, they've retained all the good stuff, which is good to hear. But at the same time, I think that this trailer is gonna be more controversial than they hope, and not as well liked as many expect, because I don't think that the normies are going to be as taken by this. You had a comment on the screen here 1 second ago of someone that didn't like it, and I think we'll see a lot of that, because what I did not see here are many things that are going to wow the normies that aren't familiar with the books.
I'm trying to find the one I had up here. The Blade Runner one?
Yeah. You Can Call Me Joker says, "Hey Andre, I got strong Blade Runner 2049 vibes, and generally I was very disappointed. I'm sure many will be. I'm sure many
Yeah,
will
I
be."
mean, I don't know. Fatal J sent in $5. You didn't have to do that, sir. Tom, I love you. Hugs. Paul uses the power of his mind, which is rare with movie characters these days. Is it though? I mean, Ray was real good at it right away. We'll see. I mean, I probably should really read the book. Don't get me wrong, or at least do the audio version of it.
The audio version is fantastic.
which you could text 500 or midnight to 500 500 and get a deal still, right?
Yes, that is true.
So yeah, like I mean, I guess what I'm looking forward to in this film, because it feels like there's a lot more in this movie than I was expecting. Because I mean, I've skimmed through the script, but I haven't really read it. I read like the last few pages and the first few pages, and like skimmed through a lot of the middle just to kind of get an idea of a few things. But I really do need to find the time to sit down and read it. But where I remember it ending in the script, it's like I swear there's, unless it's just because I'm so accustomed to the Lynch version that's out of order or something in the than it is in the book or something.
Script Doctor is in the chat. Feel free to send him a link.
I did send in the chat, but I think
he's
still at work. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did send it out to a few people, but it's that time of the day where it's tough to get a hold of some people, and others are probably working on their own reactions at this time. Tony says he's not a Dune fan, but this made him interested in it. Well, that's one thing I think Warner Brothers is hoping to hear. Don't bother reading the later Dune stuff by his son. Well, Andre's been reading through a lot of that right now. I know that.
I have. I've been reading the Legends of Dune trilogy, and I'm liking it. I'm like taken aback by like how relevant it is to the situation we're in right now. So I can't speak for everything else that the son and that other guy have written, but the Legends of Dune trilogy, like the War on the Machines trilogy, that's pretty solid. I like it, and it's so relevant. I mean, you have like the slave riots and everything, and you know what's in the third book? I was like, oh Jesus! Like, how much more 2020 can you be? A pandemic.
Dan Henry says, maybe we are so desensitive to Hollywood these days that we can't appreciate the trailer and movie enough. I feel like my grandmother watching this trailer because it's something I've never seen. That's not a bad thing, and especially if you're feeling that way. I do get some vibes from things I've seen. I did see a few things that I was impressed with. One of Andre knows I said right away was I really liked the look of the worms because it reminded me of an old painting that is like if I was ever to probably throw some Dune art up on my wall besides maybe like the OG poster or something, that would probably be it. I just love that painting for some reason. It just speaks to me. I'll probably bring that picture up just so everybody knows what I'm talking about here if I can. But,
yeah. About that, what do you think about the worm?
I liked it. Like I said, it reminded me of that painting. That's what kind of, when Dan said that, it's what kind of reminded me of that again, is because it's just like one of those moments where it's just like, you see something on screen that you thought you'd never get to see like that. I mean, the original worms were pretty good. From what I've seen in the mini series, they were leave a lot to be desired. But I'm not a big fan of CGI, but they made me feel like there was some weight to these worms, and the look I like. They're not exactly like the Lynch version. And here, I'm trying to find that picture. Here, I think I got it finally. I'm just going to go to the one I sent you. Here we go.
As for me, I really like the worms. I think the design is surprising, but I liked it. I like how it looks like an eye. I think that's a really, really cool design. So I think like just design with the logo and everything is really cool what they're doing here.
I just like how the teeth remind me of this painting. And even though this painting can't be, older than maybe the 60s, for some reason when I look at it, and like I said, it's one of those few that I've seen that just really speaks to me. It feels like something that was done in like the 30s or 40s. It makes me make it feel like it's even much more older, timely, or timeless sci-fi.
Yeah, at that time, you had the best graphic illustrators, better than most, well, pretty much everyone today. I mean, that's where you had the frasettas and everything, where that was an art. Now it's too much digital painting. And before we lose them, we got a couple of super chats. Tiberius Monkey 84 sent us $5 saying, Denis Villeneuve is my favorite director of the last decade, so I'm very excited for this film. This has the potential to be epic. Yes, it does indeed. It does absolutely have the potential to be epic, and I hope it will be. I just hope that they didn't blow so much money on it that it can't be successful.
That's a fear.
Blade Runner 2049. That's my biggest worry here.
I enjoy Blade Runner 2049 for what it was. I understand why certain people didn't like it, especially if they're huge fans of the original film. I'm not as much of a huge fan, so I guess I can accept it. But The Arrival, I was kind of disappointed by. I liked it, but like the end just kind of made me feel like I was watching a Shyamalan movie.
Yeah,
It
I
was
agree
kind of
with that.
weird.
I also loved Arrival right up until the ending. And
Yeah,
then
the ending is stupid in my opinion. Yeah.
yeah, and Christian Sander sent us €5 saying, "This trailer is helped by the fact that I just watched the STD trailer. As someone who knows Dune from the 90s RTS games only, it is a meh for me." I think many people are going to have that reaction because I think that with this trailer, they might have made, I don't know, a strategic blunder in some sense because I love the trailer. But at the same time, I'm very well aware that I do so because I understand what's going on. Whereas my worry with this trailer, now that I've seen it, is that this is going to be like a mini version of the David Lynch movie all over again. It's cool for those that are familiar with the source material, but to anyone else, and by that I also include people that aren't normies per se, who are into genre entertainment but maybe aren't familiar with Dune, they're not going to know what the hell they're watching. And like there's very little like really grabbing in it. Yeah, case in point, Nikki D sent us $10. As a normie to this IP, the trailer had some interesting visual and narrative elements, but sadly, nothing really impressed me enough to go to the theaters for it. Might wait for it on streaming/VOD. There you go. I think many people will have that reaction.
That's fair, but again, like to come back around to what we were just talking about before, might as well bring it up now. Like, do you feel like this movie is generating enough buzz right now to make enough money, even with the current condition?
I'm not on the ground in the States. I cannot say. I can say in Norway there's zero hype. No one knows.
Mm. Yeah, and I mean, as far as like video on demand, that something like that's not going to save a movie like this. I mean, it
No.
has to make 400 or 500 million easy just to break even, and that's on the low end of the scale. I mean, we're talking
For hype,
billion-dollar range, damn it,
yeah. I'd say that it's gonna have to do 700-800 million to
at
break even.
least.
Is what I would imagine. Six to
Well,
400.
they're
They should be
reporting, I
so
think
lucky.
2 or 250. I think I've heard kind of conflicting. Looks more like 250. Um, knowing Denis Villeneuve, and this is where I said I hope they're doing it in 4K because I think his last two movies he did were completed in 4K completely, which is a rarity in Hollywood. Very few directors get that luxury, and that I think will help this movie. Um, as far as what it's shot in, and now that we're talking about it, I think it was shot in Red 5 digital because I think that's what he's done his last two movies in 5K, and then they down convert to 4K. But I could be wrong. I'd have to look. North American Hamrammer sends in $2. They switched Jihad to Crusade. Sigh, Hollywood, shaking my head. What do you think to some of the changes? Because I see some people that are talking about some of the changes in the chat as well.
Changes such as
Oh well, like that he just brought up.
well, the only change that we know of is like the gender swap. There's the gender and race swap for one character. There's no other change that we're aware of, and they've inverted the story a little bit. But honestly, I'm not too worried. I really am not about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have every reason to be, but so far I'm not, because I read the script and the script is fantastic.
Yosharian says it's a mistake that Paul's screaming when his hand's in the box.
Did we see him scream, or was that something
Yeah,
that?
he screams.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. But it's
Unless hopefully that's in his mind. I mean, they could be playing it off in the trailer in a different way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna judge from that. The important thing is that he does not take his hand out. If he because like his hand feels like it's gone by the end there. So I'll forgive him Scream. I won't forgive him taking it out of the box, but I'll forgive him Screaming.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Michael Gonzalez sends $5. I heard "Dark Side of the Moon" lyrics the last 4 seconds. All that you touch, all these. Actually, like the whole last part of that song is from "Dark Side of the Moon." But yeah. People were asking what the box office was for Tenet. It's $20 million. That was the box office, which isn't like huge, but considering the situation we're in, that's pretty good. So I mean, do we feel like the things are going to be normal enough by the time Dune's supposed to come out? Though I don't know.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Well, was there anything else you? Okay.
No, that's an issue for the movie. If things are going to be back to normal, will they ever be normal again? That's the big question, though. I think that the movie is only going to earn a fraction of what it would have done normally, so I'm worried about sequel prospects.
Yeah.
Just one final thing.
Sure.
Yo Sharian asks, can you explain why you have confidence in the script? Well, because I have read it, and to me, that script was a far more faithful adaptation of the novel than I ever dared imagine that it could be. So unless someone completely tore it apart in filming, which I doubt that they did, then I have confidence in the script. It's one of the best scripts I've ever read.
Yeah, and you're not alone. A few people have said that to us.
Yeah.
So Ray Brady sends in €2 or
yeah, that's €2. €2 29.
Okay.
Dune or Foundation, which are you more excited for? I'm really excited for both. However, my heart is closer to Dune, so I'm more excited for that.
All right. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, Andre, before we wrap this up?
Final thing I want to say is just thank you, Tom, for going above and beyond the Call of Duty, for making the Dune retrospective be ready to release today. So everyone, applause for Tom for not having slept for 24 hours to get that.
One good question here. What will it take for us to do an interview with Denis Villeneuve just to get a hold of him?
Getting a hold of him. That's exactly the other thing.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know enough people in that high of places yet necessarily. I don't think, but you never know. You never ever know. But yeah, so I think that's as good as place as any to wrap this up. We don't want to drag this out too long. We're just reacting to a trailer. But what did you guys think out there? Let us know in the comments as well. And there we go.
I can answer one thing. There was one very good question from Paul Robinson. How are they going to get away with that this is basically a white savior story? I can tell you how. That is what they've been doing. I made an editorial about this, which is basically they've put the story out there with like how woke it is, and you have the representation and all of those things, and that I think is very much so to deflect from the fact that this is a white savior story. So that's my answer to that, and with that, I think we can call it the call to the night.
All righty. Take care, everybody, and have